We're going through the 30 days in 90 minutes content creation system for personal brands. And this is a process that we've taken roughly 6 or 7 personal brands through 12 times in the last 2 months. And for each one of those brands that we've done this with, we've been able to get a whole month worth of content in roughly 60 minutes in each of those scenarios that's on brand, authentic, original, and to cover their entire social media rollout for the month ahead. So I'm going to take you behind the scenes and show you what's involved in those steps. There's 2 pathways when we get to the end. I'm going to give you the system. So we've documented everything. So if you want to set it up internally, if you have your own teams and your own business and get it going, the other option naturally is us taking you through this process as well. So there's 2 pathways and you'll get access to that system to decide how you want to go about it. So I'll dive straight in, and I respect your time for being here and giving up an evening. So a quick story about how this came about. So been in the agency business for 13 and a half years, and we have another business that isn't content only, and we work in a different industry with a different type of service. And I had a client say they wanted to build their personal brand up in the construction space and become known in the local sector. And they wanted to do video content. We're having this conversation on Zoom, and he said, I'm not sure how to go about it. I said, well, let's just try something out. The idea came in the moment. I said, I'm going to hit record and I'm just going to start asking you a bunch of questions, and you and me are just going to have a chat. So we hit record, and I said, how'd the business get started? How did it grow? Tell me about the crew. What are some things you're observing in the industry? What makes a successful project? What makes an unsuccessful project? How is your business different to the way other tradies do it? How do you save time? How do you save money for clients, cut costs, all these different things? And my client was just rattling off these amazing responses. And after about 20 minutes, we stopped talking and I hit stop. I sent the 20-minute conversation to Francois, who is on our team. And I said, just grab as many clips from this conversation as you think we could use on social media. And he came back with about a dozen clips, and it's like, wow. And I watched them, and they're all really good grabs. And he cut out the ums, the ahs, the you knows, all those parts of videos that we can get rid of, and they flowed beautifully. And then I gave them to Email, who's someone else on my team, said, can you put all the branded captions and the animations for the company onto these videos? And we did that, sent it to the client, and he was blown away because he'd only had that 20-minute conversation and he's got 12 videos back. So that's how it started. And why it pivoted to personal brands is we have a purpose to make the internet a better place. And we want to do that by putting content that adds value into the newsfeed, that lifts people up and makes their day better, so they feel better when they come across it than before they came across it. I think there's a lot of scarcity, a lot of fear mongering, a lot of things that don't put people in a feel-good place. And we thought the best people to do that are personal brands, thought leaders, experts, advisors who are brilliant at their craft. So they can help us on this purpose. And that's how this all became about. So if you're a personal brand and you've been in the game for a little while and you're out there, you probably know what some of the problems are when it comes to content creation. It's a very time consuming process, first and foremost, for most people. Not everyone's a natural content creator. They're not necessarily great at hitting record, jumping on video and getting a great clip together. Writing can be an arduous process for a lot of people, and getting it authentic, original, fresh, and on brand is another whole process in itself. And in the meantime, you're inundated with inbound with clients. You've got much higher priorities on the to-do list. So being able to eliminate 90% of that and get your time down to that 60 to 90 minutes a month for content creation, I think is a really, really powerful solution and problem to solve. Which leads into the next point, why create consistent content? I think if there's any category of people that content matters for, it is people in the personal brand / thought leadership space. It really is our digital asset. It's how we build our audience. It's how we create connection. It's one of the first places that people look when they're considering working with us. What does our profile look like? Have we got content going there? When I watch that content, does it increase trust and desire to want to engage that personal brand on a paid level or a deeper capacity? Is this someone we want to book on our stage? So it really is that invisible hand that massively influences the future of you and the impact that you have, and also the business side of that. So if you've got consistent on-brand content going out at a very high level across the social media platforms that your audience is on, it plays a huge role in what you're able to achieve in the future moving forward. So I think that one, again, is pretty self-explanatory. And one of the other reasons why it's so important is being authentic. When we're personal brands, we can't lean into AI as much to generate posts and things of that nature because it'll be duplicated somewhere else on the web. So how do we create content that is ours? It is our voice, it is original, it is authentic. And this process actually solves all of that in 60 to 90 minutes. So here's the system. Very simple. There's only 3 steps in the process. Number 1 is research. And this is where we eliminate all the moving parts and all the time that goes into coming up with fresh, relevant content ideas for your industry in a matter of seconds. And I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do that tonight. Number 2 is record. And that's essentially the role or the part that you play as a personal brand. You show up, impart your genius and your magic and your wisdom. And then step 3 is the behind the scenes stuff. That's the repurposing and get ready on brand for social media. We're going to walk through all 3 of those steps tonight, the way that we do it. And like I said, you'll get given the step-by-step system, depending on whether you want to implement it yourself or get some help from us with it. So if nothing doesn't make sense or something doesn't make sense as we're going through, you'll get this step-by-step process to follow along after the session. So step number 1 is research. And this was a challenge for me. I got to a point with content creation where I was running out of ideas and I had pillars and all these different themes that I'd work with. And then I would hit that spot where you go, I don't know what to post today. I don't know what to post next week. And then I stumbled across this tool, which is vidIQ. And this solved all those problems in a matter of seconds. And there's a lot of other tools out there that you can lean into and leverage as well. But I'll run you through an example. So with vidIQ, I can just take a keyword. Let's say you're in the leadership space and helping corporations and executives, and that's your area of expertise. If I just do a search for leadership, you'll see all these related keywords come up here. But what I'm actually looking for is the question. So what are people actively searching for? Now, this focuses on YouTube. And the reason why I like looking for what people are searching on YouTube specifically is because these are people that are deliberately seeking out content. They want to go ahead and consume this content, in this case, on leadership. And as you can see, literally comes up with hundreds and hundreds of searches, and how many searches there are on YouTube in relation to these questions about leadership. So you can just download every single one of these questions and you've got content ideas in seconds that can last you for years. And as you can see, I just keep scrolling. Now, what we actually do with our research when we're working with a client is we'll go through and we'll do a bit of homework about which are the sort of low competition, highly searched phrases that there's an opportunity to get found more easily in YouTube, on searches and on social media. So there's a little bit of sorting by which has the highest competition, the lowest competition, and the most searches, and also categories that we know our clients can answer the questions in and add extreme value. And it'll look something like this. So when we've got our questions compiled for a client, we'll put them in Evernote like this. We don't actually give them to the client before the session, because what we found is if people have them, they get scripted, they get in their heads, they get too rehearsed, and they don't become natural. When you give someone a question and they've got the freedom to just answer it and draw the answer out from within, you get this very organic, authentic answer, and they've got the freedom to go wherever they want with it. So this is what it looks like when we've gone through this research phase. And then we'll add in a question like, tell me a story about how you got into this work, to have some personalization and to mix up the style of contents going out. So that's how to solve all your content idea problems in a matter of seconds with vidIQ. I think there's a free version, and then the paid version that can give you all these responses is only a few dollars a month. So very small investment. And I think they have a free trial. So you could literally go get all your questions downloaded and you're all set. So back to the next step in the process. So that's research. Step number 2 is record. So what we've found is the best platform for us to do this with clients is Google Meet. And the reason why that works so well for us is it automatically stores here in the Google Drive for us. So it's very easy to share and get it across to the different team members that we have working on this process. But if you're very confident and proficient with Zoom or Teams, I'd say go with the platform that you love to navigate. And I'll add to that, it's really important that you use the speaker spotlight feature or the presenter feature. So whoever's talking is the one that's actually on the camera screen, because if you go into other settings, you can have two people on the screen at the same time. And when you're doing the recording, what you've got is myself in the process. We use asking these questions to the client, and they go in and share their story, they share their value. Then I hit mute while they're talking. So that way the camera focus is always on the client and they're just having a conversation with me. So it's like a conversational style. It's very relaxed, very natural, versus trying to do content on video that might be scripted or rehearsed, where it might take you 15 or 20 takes. And in the repurposing step, which comes up next, that's where you're able to extract the magic and get rid of all the, in the editing, get rid of all the ums, ahs, and all the other parts that aren't required. Or if someone waffles or they go on for an extended period of time, we might be able to cut 2 or 3 clips from the same question to use as content because they've gone deep on that particular topic. So you've got these questions that you've got from the step 1, and someone's just there asking you these questions about your lane of genius and your expertise in step 2, which is the record, which you're doing on either Zooms, Google Meets, or Teams. So here's an example of one that we did with one of our clients. This one only went for 45 minutes, so maybe we could call it 30 days in 45 minutes. And I won't have the sound on, but you can just see how it kicks off pretty light. Myself having a conversation, just getting into a place where we feel very comfortable. There's a strong rapport, talking about our days. And that usually relaxes people. They're in that nice upbeat state. And then we dive in with one of those stories so they can share a personal event that's happened, something from their past, something from their week, something from their day, something from their business. And that creates a great piece of personalized, humanized content that we can put into the weekly run, along with all that educational and value-adding content that we get from the research over here in the vidIQ step, in step number 1. Now, I'll just pause this and we'll go to the next step in the process. So this is where, when you've got the system set up, it all gets done behind the scenes. So ideally, you're just there for the record. That's your 45, your 60, your 90 minutes for the month. The rest of the magic happens behind the scenes. So the way that we do it is, this is the most important step here. This is what Francois in our team does. He'll go through that 45-minute clip and he'll cut different parts of the conversation that are going to add same value to the client's audience. So for example, this clip here, and he'll give it a label. So dealing with stage fright or anxiety. This is a clip from that 45-minute extraction. It's loading a little bit slowly at the moment, but you'll see that the clip is about 32 seconds of length. And this will be going through that 45 minutes of content and going, okay, this is a really good grab. This is something we're going to use as a reel or a short for social media. And Francois will grab that. And you can see from the 45 minutes that we did here with the client Sand, we got 16 different clips that we could use. And she also did some outfit changes. So one thing that we also encourage is, if you want to have different outfits throughout the process, we might switch it up every sort of 10 to 15 minutes. So you can change jackets, shirts, just so some of the videos you're wearing something different. It's up to the client and their brand and so forth. Now, once we've got the those clips cut, which is where the genius is, getting the right content, then it comes to the branding side. So this is making sure that we make it aligned with the colors, the brand, everything that you stand for online. So with Sand, we had that dealing with stage fright clip. Now it's been repurposed into a reel or short for YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you want to put it. And as you can see, her branding colors are on there. We've got the emojis, and this is what the end product looks like. So we'll hand select the best cuts that have been taken from the extraction that Francois has picked, and then we'll put all the branded captions. Now, why do we need to put captions and animation onto these videos? Well, last time I Googled it, 92% of videos start playing without the sound on. So we've got to engage the client with the words on the screen. And then the average human attention span is 8 seconds. So we don't have a lot of time to grab someone's attention in the newsfeed. So we have to have the animation, the moving screen, and the captions to cater to how the audiences like to consume content. So as you can see, this is what happened at the end of the month. We've got 12 different clips, all custom branded, that are ready to go out as video content on social media from that 45-minute conversation that we had on Google Meets, that are completely on brand. Now, that's just one part of the process. We also have to create written content so we can cater to the different forms of media and the different platforms. So what we do to get our written posts is we grab the file for the meeting, and this is where we incorporate a little bit of AI into the process. Now, one of the things that's really important for a personal brand is that it's our words, and the words that we're using in the post have come out of our mouths, and they're not something that AI is generated and could have duplicated, and we could get found out by sharing something that isn't authentic and isn't our own if we don't say, hey, this is AI. So what we do is we just take the link over to rev.com, which again, it's documented in the system. And then all we have to do is put it in the UK English. Yep. And then it'll transcribe this in a matter of minutes. I think there's a lot of other tools out there that can do this, but we stick with Rev. It's very accurate. And it takes probably 5 minutes to turn around. It's only a few cents per minute of audio. We're on a monthly plan. We just pay a fixed fee. And then what we get once that's finished is this. So we get the transcription from the conversation. And then we go to the next step, which we have Shells, who's our copywriter on our team. And she will go ahead and she will convert excerpts from the transcription into written posts for social media. So anywhere there's a really good grabbable piece of content, she'll turn it into a great engaging post that can be utilized across all the different platforms, making sure we're adding in the hashtags. And as you can see from that transcript, we're able to create a number of different posts to go out and be utilized across social media. So from that 45-minute conversation with Sand, in this example, we've extracted all these different clips. We've converted them into the branded animated reels. And then we've taken this transcription of the conversation that we had and converted them into all the written posts of social media. And that's essentially the 30 days in 90 minutes system. We also have an example going through right now. This is Chloe. We're 8 reels into her production from a recent extraction. This one's a slightly different style. So you see if someone's branding is different, the captions will come up. See if I can move this out the way. And sometimes, depending on what the client's industry is and the style that they like, we might add in B-roll, as you can see here with Chloe's style. So we cut in other footage. We use different pictures and so forth to convey a point, depending on what market they're in. If there's explicit language and things like that, we bleep out and we put the appropriate asterisks in place. So you can see, once you know what your brand looks like, what the colors and fonts are, we can fully customize how we do the end product. So you're getting completely authentic, original, on-brand content that matches exactly how you want to show up on social media. And in this document here, we show you exactly what to send. If you want to set this up yourself, we show you what to send to an editor so they can cut the clips, give you the right colored captions and so forth. And you just fill in the blanks and give them the right information. Same with the written content. If you are getting someone to write the post for you, we give you the content writing instructions. So you can go ahead and give them that and they can just take the transcript and generate the post for you. So that is essentially how we go through the 30 days in 90 minutes process. Like I said, very simple. Starts with an extract with the meeting. We've done all the research here on vidIQ. Meeting, that's your part. You show up for that 60 to 90 minutes. Then all the magic happens behind the scenes, finding the magic, getting it on brand, and then getting the written format as well. So like I said, there's 2 different pathways that you can go. And number one is setting up, depending on where you're at with your personal brand and with your team, you can take this document that we've crafted here, and this will take you through every step in the process. There's some examples, there's some testimonials from clients that have been through, but essentially from here, we start to dive into how to do it. So we'll walk you through how to go through vidIQ, how to get your content ideas, how to do all of that. Then we'll teach you or walk you through the recording process. And you can see a picture of me with Grant Cardone. You might recognize that face. I was fortunate enough to go on his podcast, Power Players, which is a pretty unreal experience. Someone who really knows content and how to build a personal brand. So it's all in there, giving you recording tips, how to get the right background lighting and all those sorts of things, changing outfits. Then the repurposing steps that you just saw. So it'll talk you through exactly how to go through and set that up yourself. The other option, of course, like I said, is if you're interested in us just doing this process for you. So you literally just have to show up onto Zoom, Google Meets, wherever we decide to do the meeting, have the conversation with me. We'll create all that content in the background for you. And that's how our service works. One thing that I forgot to mention in the live Zoom was some of the additional features that you get when you come and work with us. It's not just the content. There's a lot of additional support and elements that we've built in to the product as well. There's an onboarding week, which is where we map out your plan. Is there a business goal? Is there a monetization goal? Who is your audience? Unpack all of that. So we curate the content strategy towards building that for you and with you. When you do your extraction interview, it will be with me in a very fun conversational style. And you'll end up with 5 pieces of content every single week. We also have training that shows you how to post them at a frequency where you'll be omnipresent, adding value and in front of your target market and showing up as the most powerful version of yourself. So all that training is there and included when you come and work with us. There's also what we call our podcast guest system. So we teach you how to get on other people's podcasts, infiltrate their audiences, reach a whole scale of new people organically, and build your audience and leverage much faster that way. We also have monetization training where we show you different strategies and walk you through how you can extract clients, speaking gigs, consulting, however you like to offer your services through the content process and some additional steps that you can layer in. So it's not just the content, there's all these support mechanisms that are layered in that can help you get to the goals that you want to achieve. It's very much, as I said, a community vibe. We have flexible payment options, everything from weekly debit up to pay in full incentives where you get some savings and also some additional value built in. So if you want to have a chat, see if it's a fit or not, then book in a time so we can have that conversation and see if it aligns. It'd be so much fun to work together. Click the button below, find a time, let's chat and just go from there.